The first sign that my family had held Sunday dinner without me was a message from my 8-year-old nephew. Are you still sad about Aunt Claire's baby? I read it 3 times before I understood what he had just told me. Sunday dinner had been part of my family for years. My parents cooked, my brother brought his kids, and my younger sister Claire arrived with dessert. I was usually the first one there, setting the table with my dad. 5 months earlier, I had lost a pregnancy at 11 weeks. My family knew. Claire brought groceries. My dad called each evening. My mother checked on me so often that I asked her to slow down. By the 3rd month, I was back at work and seeing a counselor. Some days still hurt, but I could talk about children and pregnancy. My mother did not seem to notice that part. She watched my face whenever someone mentioned a baby. If I became quiet, she changed the subject. Once, she even kicked my aunt under the table for mentioning a coworker's pregnancy. I told her she did not need to manage every room for me. She said she was only being careful. But that Sunday, the silence started before noon. Normally, my mother texted our group by Saturday night with the menu. That weekend, she sent nothing. At 2 in the afternoon, I called her. She said my dad had a headache, so dinner was canceled. I told her to let him rest and stayed home. At 8:43, while I was eating noodles, my nephew sent his message from his tablet. Before I could answer, he sent another one. Grandma said we should not tell you yet. My stomach tightened. My cousin Rachel had posted a photo 20 minutes earlier. My parents, siblings, aunts, uncle, and cousins were all sitting around the dining table. There were pink and yellow balloons behind Claire's chair. A small cake sat in front of her with the words, "Baby coming in March." My usual chair was in the corner, holding a pile of gift bags. The photo hurt, but that empty chair made it worse. They had planned everything, moved my chair, and then told me dinner was canceled. I called her immediately. She answered on the 4th ring. The room behind her was suddenly quiet. I asked if Claire was pregnant. My mother paused, then said yes. I asked why everyone was there except me. She lowered her voice and said, "We wanted Claire to have one happy evening without worrying about your reaction." For a moment, I could not speak. She said seeing the announcement might have been too much, and nobody wanted me to feel embarrassed if I became emotional. I asked when I had ever embarrassed Claire. My mother said that was not what she meant, but it was exactly what she had meant. They had discussed my possible reaction and decided my grief made me unsafe to invite. That was the first emotional hit. The next one came when Claire did not call. She sent me a text the following morning. "Mom told me you found out. I'm sorry it happened this way." The words "happen this way" made the dinner sound like something no one had chosen. I replied, "Did you want me there?" 3 hours passed before she answered. I didn't know what would be best. I told her she could have asked me. She did not reply. I thought I understood why they had excluded me. 2 days later, I learned the dinner was only part of it. Rachel came over 2 days later, carrying coffee and looking nervous. She said my nephew was being blamed for telling me. My mother had taken away his tablet for the week. I reached for my phone, but Rachel said there was something else I needed to see first. She opened a family group chat I had never seen. It had been created 3 weeks earlier. Every adult from the photo was in it except me. After several messages about the announcement, my mother wrote, "We need to decide how to handle Emma." What Rachel showed me changed the whole shape of that night. My aunt had suggested telling me privately before dinner. Claire had asked if they should invite me and give me the choice. My mother rejected both ideas. She wrote that I was still unstable and could not be around pregnant women. I had never said that. Weeks earlier, I had said the baby section in a store had caught me off guard. She had turned one bad afternoon into a description of who I was. She also said I had stopped speaking to a pregnant coworker. The coworker had simply moved offices. Each small detail had been changed just enough to make me sound bitter and unpredictable. My brother had written, "If Emma cries, Claire will feel terrible." My father had replied, "Maybe one dinner apart is easier." Claire had sent one message. "I don't want her to think I excluded her." My mother answered, "She does not need to know." Then Claire sent a thumbs up. The cruelest part was how easily they had accepted that version of me without checking. I called Claire while Rachel was still sitting beside me. I asked one question. Did Mom tell you I said I couldn't be around pregnant women? Claire went silent. Then she admitted that she had. I explained what I had said. Claire cried and admitted she was scared that I would look hurt and make her feel guilty on a night she wanted to enjoy. That answer hurt, but at least it was direct. I told her, I might have looked hurt for a moment. I also would have hugged you. Both things could have existed at the same table. She said she knew that now. I told her the decision had changed something between us. She had let everyone discuss my grief like a behavior problem, then eaten with them while I sat alone. The next Sunday, my mother invited me as if none of it had happened. I almost stayed home. Instead, I went because I needed to say my part where the decision had been made. No balloons were there that night, no extra relatives, just my parents, my brother, Claire, and me. Before anyone touched the food, I placed my phone on the table and said I had seen the other group chat. My mother looked at Rachel's empty chair and asked who had shown me. I said that question was not the issue. She said she had been protecting both daughters. She said grief could make people react unexpectedly and that she had tried to keep everyone comfortable. Then my dad interrupted her. He said, "We handled this badly." It was the first clear sentence anyone in my family had given me. My brother apologized. Claire admitted that avoiding my sadness had mattered more than including me. She did not hide behind our mother this time. My mother was the last one to stop defending the choice. I told her that care would have meant calling me. Care would have meant asking what I could handle. What she did was take my private pain, rewrite it, and use it to remove me from my own family. She looked down at the table. I left before dinner was served. For 3 months, I stopped attending Sundays. It was not revenge. I just could not sit in that room while everyone acted normal. Claire and I started meeting separately. Soon, she could discuss the pregnancy without studying my face. I asked questions when I wanted to, and requested space when I needed it. Slowly, we learned that my sadness did not cancel her happiness. My dad visited often and never pressured me to return. My brother gave his son the tablet back and told him he had done nothing wrong. My mother took longer. Weeks later, she apologized without excuses. She stopped sharing my private conversations and started asking instead of deciding. I returned to Sunday dinner shortly before Claire's due date. My chair was back in its usual place. No one made a speech. Claire passed me the bread. My mother asked how work was going. It was awkward, but it was a beginning. When Claire's daughter was born, I visited the next afternoon. Holding my niece brought up feelings I could not separate into neat categories. There was warmth. There was grief. There was also relief that Claire and I had found a way back before resentment became permanent. My relationship with my family is different now. I share less with my mother. I pay more attention when people call secrecy protection. And I no longer let anyone decide that my emotions make me unfit for a seat at the table. They thought leaving me out would protect one happy memory, but the empty chair became the part none of us could forget.